Hello, it is Trusty, a very stressed Trusty, coming to you live from a hotel room in, I believe I might be in Iowa or I might still be in Nebraska. I'm somewhere near the border, near Omaha. I'm in a suburb of Omaha, and I barely made it. So this should be an interesting sale on many levels. One, I barely was able to get things organized. I brought stuff to sell. I bought things along the way to sell, but I hadn't gotten anything priced. And I got into the hotel. It's an older hotel, and I could not connect my Ethernet cable to the cable of the hotel because they still actually have the big cable cords, and I had no way to connect into it. So I'm hoping everyone is going to be able to hear me okay, that my connection is strong enough. It's dangerous when I'm at a hotel. Usually I can upgrade to the faster version, but they don't even have the faster version. So I have one level of internet. I don't know how many people are checking into the hotel, so it might get worse through the evening. So we're going to try and get things started quickly. I have my Jiminy Cricket is here with me. We've got Katie is hanging out in the background. She is also going to keep track of whether if I start lagging, if I freeze. Hopefully I don't lose my connection so that she can keep things running and see if I can get back in. But it is entirely possible I will lose you guys tonight. So I hope not. So I'm keeping the sale relatively short. I've got a box of other stuff if things are going well. And I've been visiting customers all day, and I've already driven 4 hours just today in different spurts to see customers. So I'm a little tired, a little punchy. So we shall see what happens. I appreciate everyone joining in, and I always apologize if I miss people, but I'm going to miss tons because I'm just going to say hi, really quickly to names as I click on them. So Jan, hey Jan, hey Bree, Peterson, thanks so much. Kat's coming in the house. Melody's here from Pennsylvania. Tiafane from Connecticut. We got New England Thrifter from Arizona. Tammy Renee Walker covering the South. Proud American covering the Buckeye State. Dear Angela, my hometown, even though I'm not anywhere near my home state, but I got Angela keeping things happy in the land of Lincoln. Another land of Lincoln, got Brian coming from the Chicagoland area. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you saying that. I still got my microphone. I brought all my my equipment. The only thing I didn't do is I did not bring my big the big production lights. I just brought a ring light. So right now, if the housekeeping came in, they'd probably find me because I've moved every lamp in the hotel room to a little semicircle around me. And then I've got my one ring light. So hopefully I'll have enough light to keep going and the internet will stay. So at least I sound good. So I appreciate it.
You sound and you look good.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry. I had to turn the air conditioning off because it was so loud, and I'm already starting to sweat. So we'll see how that goes as the evening progresses. Hi, Clyde.
Hi, Clyde. Yes, we have a very frisky cat in the back right now.
Louie's getting a little bit of break from Katie, so Katie's spending time with Clyde. What would Clyde be? The step cat would be, because it's your brother's cat, right?
Yeah, so I'd be like his aunt.
His aunt, there you go. Your niece cat, there you go. Or no, Clyde's a guy.
Yeah,
your nephew cat.
My nephew cat.
Nephew cat. All right. Nettie coming in, got the West Coast covered. We got New Zealand covered. So Nate will be helping Katie in the chat. And got our Terp in the house. We got Dawn from Just One More Docs and Rescue. And let's see. Tiafane, I am in the suburbs of Omaha, Nebraska. Since you're in Canada, you may not know where Omaha is. Texas cover, got Carrie. All right, Pat Robinson's in the house. All right, I apologize. I know I'm missing a bunch of people because I'm just scanning, but I do want to get started because if you probably stayed in hotels before, the more people that check in and they all start locking onto the internet, the thinner the internet connection goes. So it's only a little after 7 here, so we're going to go ahead and get things started. And I tried to keep things the way I had been doing them. So right off the bat, I'm going to start things out with a mystery box. So we are going to do a mystery box right out the gate. Of course, you still get to send Katie into the ether. So she'll be the voice of God, lowercase g. You still get your maxi pad. Somebody who just did an unboxing, I think Kat did an unboxing. You should follow Calypso Antiques. She does sales on Wednesday nights. She did an unboxing of a bunch of stuff that she got from many resellers, but included my mystery box. And as she was opening it, she was concerned that she wouldn't get a maxi pad because she was afraid I might be running out. I am not running out. I think I might be to the lowest layer in the case, but that probably means I still have about 50 left. So you get one. For those of you who might be new, the way the mystery box works is a little bit different than the rest of mine. I do not do auctions. I do not do offer ups. But normally I will give you the price and tell you the number, and then you'd be the first to claim it because these are popular thanks to Fatbird Finds. Always giving a shout out to Fatbird Finds who introduced these in their live sales. Instead of having me telling you the number and making the first person type it in, I'm going to make you guess. So the number is on the card. I have given Kate and Nady. Damn it. Now I just swore. This has been a long day. So
you've earned the cussing.
Haven't dropped the F-bomb yet. So that's when you know things have gone over the edge, when I start cursing like a longshoreman. So we've got a $15 mystery box. Nate and Katie cannot be bribed, but they do know the number. And I will tell you the range. If you've not done this before, everyone gets a chance. You have to guess the number. You can guess more than one number. So just type in the number, hit enter, type in another number. You can't just enter a string. And so we will be watching for the first person to give the number that falls between 90 and 99. So this mystery box is between 90 and 99. So we're in the 90s, and that's the first mystery box. And I will be heading back to Chicago. I'll probably be getting in late Friday night. So hopefully I can get invoices out on Saturday, but they might go out on Sunday. So just be aware of that. I do have quite a bit of traveling and appointments tomorrow as well. But I will try and get everything out by this weekend so I can start shipping on Monday. And I am in town all of next week. Although I think I might have shipped everything that people ordered last week. I think I got it all out, which was a miracle before I left on this trip.
And
have you seen the number yet? I actually haven't seen it.
I see it in the chat already, but I'm waiting for Nate to confirm because you got to make it all the way to New Zealand.
Oh, there's one. Okay. I don't know if that's the first one. I jumped. That's why I was so far at the bottom.
Yep. And I see it. And Nate has confirmed. Congratulations, Carrie, KCATX.
And that's the one I saw. There we go. Because the number was 92. So 92, the first mystery box goes to Carrie at KCATX.
Yay, Carrie.
All right. One thing I did not get a chance to do is print out my nifty little cheat sheets, so I've got to hand write them now. So hopefully I can keep track without having to rewatch the entire video. But congratulations, Carrie, and thank you, Katie and Nate for picking that up. All right, I'm using as my write board one of my items. So I'm going to go ahead and show it because then I want to start using as my writing board again. This I picked up in a, I want to say this was actually a proper antique mall. It is the game of Acquire. What I liked about this is I did not know that 3M issued games. And so this I picked up on my trip to Minnesota, which is where 3M is based. So I thought it was kind of fun that 3M used to issue these board games. And so it's like 3M bookshelf games. They had 3 of them available in the booth. This ended up being the lightest of the 3 because I did want to take into consideration shipping. It'll probably still be over a pound by the time I put it in a box. So it's still not like super lightweight because you can see on the picture, there's a lot of tiles that make up part of the game. So it's card game, the board, and then also the tiles. It is dated 1968. So it's copyrighted 1968. Since they were designed to be board like shelf games, the whole box slides out from the sleeve. So you got the sleeve, has art on both sides, and then you have a complete box inside, which is very nicely containing all of the pieces. Let's see if I can open it up. And you can see right at the top, that's what the board looks like. It's plastic, I guess. Yeah, plastic. within like a paper insert. And then a lot of the stuff, like some of the pieces still have the bags. I'm not even sure if this was ever used. So you've got the little acquire information cards. I will admit this is not a game that I've played, although I have heard of it. And I'm not sure, the bag may not have been sealed because this has lying loose. So it looks like maybe it was opened. But it looks pretty full. I guess those are the individual, that was also maybe the days of the week tags. Anyway, and the instructions are luckily in the top. So you have all the information you need to play the games. I don't know if anybody's familiar with this game, if it came out in the 60s or if it had been older than that. Had you heard of it, Katie?
I've never heard of this game, but I think it's really cool, the graphics on the front and the fact that it has all the little tiles inside.
So inside, there's the directions, and in the bottom corner, I'm not sure with all my lights, if you see it, but in the bottom corner, this one says that the copyright, maybe, I don't know if it's for the instructions or just for the game, the copyright's 1966. So the game maybe was copyrighted earlier, and it was 1968 that they created the bookshelf version of it, because that one clearly says copyright 1968, but both of them copyrighted by 3M. So I don't know, I just thought that was kind of cool. Great vintage graphics on it, whether you play the game or just put it out. It's just got a cool, what the late 60s Mad Men business world, the colors that would be in that. So that is missing. There it is. Now I'm getting old and making noises when I bend over. All right, that is $10 for the Acquire board game. $10 by giving me number 81. $10, 81 for the Acquire board game.
And a couple of notes here. Carrie is sending that mystery box to Beth over at Carolina Sweet Treats and Pretties. The very kind of you, Carrie. And I see Gabrielle Lish picking up number 81. Congratulations, Gabrielle. And there's been lots of questions about the eBay auctions. So yes, there are 2 eBay auctions tonight. One being the vintage Noel letters and the Mary Engelbright. And I just put the link to the eBay channel in the chat. So definitely go check that out. There's about 40 minutes left, I believe, on each auction.
Yes, they will end at the top of the hour, and I do apologize, but I did not want to try and hassle bringing those with me on this trip because I did not want to break them. So for those who did not participate or did not join last week's sale, that is totally fine and understandable. There are 2 items that are listed right now. The first is the Commodore version. This does not have the box, but I found a version of this in its box that said it was a Commodore product. So this is the Commodore Noel candlestick holders. They are stamped Japan on the bottom, but they are not stamped Commodore, but they do match the version that we found in the box. So that is available. It is currently at $41. And then the other one is a Mary Engelbright product that is from her Words to Live By series, which she typically has home. It is done with some of her more traditional decor. This one says Hope because it is the Christmas version. So you've got the Christmas candle, the bell, the star. You've got items that make this but you still have the Mary Engelbright floral motif on the letters themselves. So I've always done well with Mary Engelbright on eBay. And so that one has had 12 bids and it is currently up to $28. So both of those will expire will end at the top of the hour. And then I'll go ahead and show you now, because I don't want to forget, in case I do forget. This is the item that will be going up for auction at the top of the next hour. It is a student art piece that I could not pass up, but I didn't know what to do with it because it's kind of hard to sell original art or price a little original art. But I couldn't pass it up because it has the information of the student. It's from 1995. I'm assuming that was the name of the class. So probably a college level class, the fact it's 118. And it's got the original covers to it. It is a pen and ink drawing of Dracula with a screaming victim and kind of a backdrop with like the castle. And all of that, I think, is pretty cool all by itself. But what makes it unique is on the back, there's a little manila envelope you can see. And in that envelope are the magazine ads that she used to draw the art. So you've got an Elle magazine ad from May 1995. She drew the victim. This is from a different magazine because the page is a different size. Unfortunately, there's no information of which magazine it came from. But that one had the picture of Bela Lugosi, and so she used that for the Dracula. And I'm assuming this was the same article. It has the outline of the castle, which she then put into the backdrop. So this is all an original pen and ink done with her inspirational pieces, and kind of because it was a student piece, all archived together with these pieces attached to the back. So this is cool all by itself, but then you add this into the mix. I just thought that was super cool. So that is going to be going live at the top of the hour. So when the other two end, this one will start. But just in case I don't get a chance to show it or forget to show it, now you know what's going to be going live.
And that is just amazing. And the talent she has to recreate those magazine ads. I mean, it is to the detail.
Well, when I first got it, I'm sitting there because I didn't have a loop or anything with me. So I'm like really trying to examine, is this a print? Is this a poster? And I'm like, well, it had like a couple different places where the sheen was a little bit different. And I'm like, I think this is original. And so I'm looking at it, and they're like, it was an estate sale, and the woman's like, turn it over. When I turn it over, all it is a manila envelope. I'm like, okay. She's like, well, open the envelope. And so I opened the envelope, and all of a sudden I realized what was in there. She's like, yep, that's all original. She's like, it was the owner's daughter or granddaughter that had done it. And it always blows my mind when like estate sales like this, like something that's very specific, it has the artist's name on there. It's coming out of the house. Like this was something this family just decided, nah, we don't need that. We don't care if she was talented. So they just let it go. So never know. All right. So the archive game went really. All right. I was trying a little late, but I did post a few things on my Instagram channel yesterday because I was trying to promote that I was still having a sale. I never did get a graphic to highlight the sale because I couldn't get my Canva to load on my phone. So, I tried to prep for the sale, but it's kind of, I'm not proud of this sale, but I did find some really cool stuff, and I am proud of what I'm selling. And this was one of them. I showed this on my Instagram channel. It is a Zonus adhesive plaster, a tiny little canister. So like just compare it against my hand, a tiny little canister. On the top, it says the color was white. It's got the little Red Cross symbol on there. It is a Johnson & Johnson product. It says Johnson & Johnson somewhere. There it goes. Right there at the top. And when I looked this up to see if I could figure out the date, on the Johnson & Johnson archive, it shows this canister because it shows it's 1 yard long and 1 inch tall. They had this exact same canister on their site that said it was either an 1896 or an 1898 canister. So it's super tiny. Oh, perfect timing. Dave at the Bed Center looking for medical supplies. So we've got the Zonus adhesive plaster from Johnson & Johnson. It lists New Brunswick, New Jersey, which is where they're still based. Just a cute little tin. Unfortunately, the adhesive plaster is not in there, but the inside of the tin is actually in really good shape. There's a little bit of oxidation, but the graphics are really good. Just look at that the little mesh background that they gave to that. So it is the Johnson & Johnson Zonus adhesive plaster miniature canister. It is $8. $8 for the adhesive plaster by giving me number 33. 33, $8 for the Zonus plaster.
Yes, Mal, I agree. It's amazing shape for being over 100 years old. That is a pretty cool find there, Patrick.
Yeah, somebody took good care of him. He's just cute.
And I'm going to wait for Mr. Nate, but I think I know who I see already in the chat. That was quite a popular little 10.
Excellent.
And I see Berkeley Girl. The other Katie is getting that. So congratulations.
All right. Thank you, Katie, for picking that up. All right. I did bring, when I was prepping to travel for the sale, I did prep a lot of ephemera because it's very flat, it's easy to carry, particularly and somewhat lightweight. So I do have quite a bit of ephemera coming up. So this is one of the pieces. I thought this was a fun item. It's winning ways with your telephone. I believe the 48 on the back represents 1948 because that also kind of go along lines with the graphics that are on here. Can't remember if I don't remember seeing another date in here, but it is, I don't know if this was something they would have given in school, because I guess, I don't know. He's wearing a bow tie, so he seems a little bit older, but inside the booklet, it actually has this book belongs to, like this was something that was distributed or given out kind of like in a classroom or something. But your telephone, every time you pick up your telephone, you can win or lose the regard of the person on the other end of the line. This book is designed to help you win friends in your telephone contacts. Here are some of the winning habits discussed in these pages. So we've got answering promptly, identifying yourself when answering. How many people do that? I do that on my work phone, but I certainly don't do it on anything else. Asking questions tactfully, answering for others. You win by getting the facts pleasantly from the caller, making him feel that he has answered a request, not a demand for information. Being courteous when leaving the line, helpfulness on misdirected calls. Yeah, I don't think there's a page for spam. Making calls correctly, holding the line when placing calls. Wait a minute, holding the line when placing calls. It is good telephone manners to be ready to talk when the person you are calling answers. The surest way is to make the call yourself and hold the line. It is especially important to hold that line when placing long distance calls. You win the called party's regard by showing him the respect you appreciate in those calling you. Okay. And then how to have a pleasing telephone personality. So there's just some fun graphics in this, and it's just a kind of a cool snapshot in time of an era that nobody's going to win any telephone personality contest lately. So I know this was a fun one. I think it was issued. Wait, it said it was issued by somebody. Oh, the Ohio Bell Telephone Company. So back in the time when Ma Bell ruled the roost. So we've got the telephone booklet, and it's $5. $5 for the little telephone booklet from Ohio Bell. $5 by giving me number 74. $5.74 for the little phone booklet.
That is just a neat piece of ephemera, Patrick. And I do agree with Dee. People should know who they're calling.
Yes.
But I do think a lot of our phone manners have gone out the window now that we have texting and other forms of communication now.
I 100% agree. It's just funny, the idea of like holding the line, like you would call somebody but then walk away from the phone while it's ringing. I think some of the stuff that kind of stuff really doesn't happen anymore.
No, so this is definitely a fun snapshot
Yeah.
back into the past. And I don't see anyone for the telephone booklet, so it is still available, folks.
That's quite all right. All right. Next item is some more ephemera. This one is a deck of playing cards. It is the set of Tee Up plastic-coated playing cards, 52 funny cartoons. And it has been opened. The box is in a little bit rough shape. You can see there's been a little bit of tear. It does date back to the time when the tax stamp needed to go on them because they were considered gambling items. But what's nice about these is every card has a unique cartoon on it, which you don't see very often. So instead of having all the picture cards or the pips, even the individual cards, they all have unique golf themed jokes on them. So this meeting is now open, and I will now entertain a motion to adjourn. So that's the 5 of hearts. So just a cute little vintage set of playing cards. Don't think I saw a date on this one, and I can't make out this tax stamp. It does have a single-digit zip code on it, so it's from between 1948 and 1963. So you've got a nice era on this, some nice age, nice vintage, and the cards themselves are in good shape. And you can get the deck for $6. $6 for the golfing cards by giving number 47. $6.47 for the golfing cards.
That would make a great gift for anybody that golfs. And we do have about 31 minutes left, folks, on the 2 eBay auctions, and I just posted that into the chat. So definitely go over and take a look at those awesome Commodore Noel letters and Mary Englebright Hope.
The next item is another one that I put on my Instagram this week. I actually picked this up this week. This was actually, I did a kind of a circuitous route, left Chicago, came through Iowa, went up to South Dakota, came down through Nebraska, and then heading back through Iowa and back to Illinois. This came from South Dakota, but what it is, hopefully you'll be able to see it, is a wooden cigar box, cigar canister. The original patents on this are dated 1916. And what they are Cuban cigars, Havana cigars, made in Tampa, Florida. So you've got a Florida-made cigar manufacturer advertising that they're making Cuban cigars back at a time when Cuban cigars would not have been considered illegal, in a very nice and high quality canister that is still in fantastic shape. The lid is absolutely solid. I wouldn't necessarily say it's airtight anymore for tobacco storage, but it would make a great storage piece because it's in great condition. The top comes off and on really easily, and it's decorated on all sides with graphics. So you just have a really cool piece. You got a little manufacturer's stamp. Just a great piece of history. Whether you're a tobacco lover or not, the graphics on this are awesome, and they hit it on the head. It would make a great display, a riser for a display, because you've got every aspect of it's cool, but something on top, it'll pop up behind everything else. And it's only $15. So $15 for the Cuban canister, $15 by giving me number 22. $15, 22 for the Cuban canister.
And you know what? I bet that was made in Ybor City in Tampa, where they're known for all of their cigars and tobacco. It's a really neat place inside of Tampa. And I see.
So is it a neighborhood or is it a city?
They call it Ybor City, but it's actually a neighborhood of inside Tampa. It's like going into New York and having various neighborhoods like Greenwich Village or different places like that. And you go and they have tons of cigar factories, and the streets are just lined with cigar shops that make their own cigars. Cool. And it's neat. So I bet that's where that came from.
Yeah, just as I was looking to see if any of the other stamps say anything. It says made at Tampa, Florida, long filler, something or without binder, but nothing, no other, it doesn't look like any other addresses are put on here. So that's cool.
That is just a really, really neat piece. And I see Gritty Gret picking up number 22. Congratulations, Gritty.
Great. Thank you, Gritty, for picking that up. Another item that I just picked up. This I thought was cool for both aspects of the fact that the box is cool. It is a Goldilocks box of heavy hairpins. Never let your hair down. Great little vintage box. Got the size of the bobby pin that is inside, but you don't need to know what it looks like from the inside from the outside, because it's actually filled with vintage bobby pins. So you've got black finished, kind of a high gloss, big bobby pins. It says they are I didn't count them. It started with 100 hairpins. It says they're black, 2.5 inch number 22 cabinet. Do you know what that means, Katie? Is that like a hair thing?
It must be a hair thing. Probably 22 is the amount of hair that you could fit in there, or maybe the width or something. I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, so it's like all the details of what's in this particular one, because like the black obviously would be this one, this size. But yeah, I don't know what the number 22 or the cabinet. I don't know what that would mean. But anyway,
either.
Kind of a cool little decor box for your, for your bathroom, for your, if you want to do a Grease or Happy Days vignette, anything you want to do. $5 for the little box of bobby pins. $5 by giving me number 48. $5, number 48 for the box of Goldilocks heavy hairpins.
And that is just such a cool graphic. And I see.
Well, I love the name of the brand, Goldilocks. That's awesome.
Tippy Wings Vintage is in the chat, and she used to be a hairdresser, so maybe she can help us out with that on the box. And I see Gabrielle Lish picking up those box of hairpins. That was a popular little box there, Patrick.
Great. All right, that was one of those weird things that I'm like, I don't know, but I like the graphics. All right. All right. Well, even though I don't have everything pulled for the sale, you knew I could not have my sale without showing off some coasters. So I did make sure I brought some coasters. And this one, we did talk about this either the last sale or maybe it was one of the live chats. I mentioned that Avon gets kind of a bad break because, everyone knows the name. They don't necessarily consider them valuable or collectible or anything. Valuable maybe, but collectible, they're very collectible. And that's why sometimes they don't have the value, because everyone who wanted them already has them. So these are just kind of a fun item that I like. The fact that it still comes in its original box is a set of 4 Avon coasters. So they're larger, because they're rectangular in shape. And you've got kind of the backwoods, the outdoors theme going on here. So you've got what would that be? A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12-point buck on here. You've got the trout fit. Well, I don't know if it's a trout, but you've got the fisherman coaster. You've got the bear, and you've got, this is a pheasant. Pheasant? Is that a pheasant? I think that's a pheasant. It's got like a hunting / outdoorsy motif. So you've got a set of 4 of the coasters. They're like a plasticized material. They're not metal, but they are wrapped around kind of a frame, and then they've got the felt on the bottom. So you've got really nice. They're really nice shape. The box is showing a little bit of wear, so that was probably what was beaten around as it got tossed in and out of drawers or whatever. But the 4 coasters are in great shape, and the 4 coasters are $6. So $6 for the outdoorsy Avon coasters, $6 by giving number 91. 91, $6 for the Avon coasters. Now, this is a good conversation that I started with Katie actually a week or so ago. In olden times, I would make a comment that say that these would be good for men because men are the hunters, but that's exceptionally misogynistic. So the question ends up being, so when the ladies of the house, when you see items like this that are there's a deer, there's a fish, there's a bear, there's a pheasant, do you still consider those man cave items? And is man cave an inappropriate term, or is how what kind of naming mechanism should we be using for things like that?
That is a very good point, Patrick, because I've been thinking that a lot lately, particularly I think with men's ties. And I do see Sheila is ISTAT. Anyway, Sheila, congratulations, you're getting number 91.
So you said you thinking it when you said ties?
Ties, like what makes a tie particularly male? Because I see a lot of women now rocking that look, and I think it's a lot of fun. And some people feel like maybe ties should just be kept for men. But again, times are changing, and we're realizing that maybe certain clothing doesn't have to be assigned to one gender.
So for the outdoorsy aspect, so Gabrielle's saying she doesn't think about it one way or another. Sandy, for Sandy Lilac, makes an excellent point that she is a hunter. So it is somewhat misogynistic and sexist to think that hunting should be associated with men and not specifically with women. So Bria is using the term cabin decor.
Cabin decor.
Okay. Because I've used it even on my own sale. I did move away from it because somebody had pointed out to me that the term man cave was sexist. Now, I was also told that the term she shed was acceptable. I'm like, okay, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that. You can't say man cave, but she shed is all right. So it needs to be something a little bit more generic. And I think this is probably a bad example, but I say it because I will admit I don't know how much came out of my mouth when I started to say I was going to say for guy. And it's whoever, as Fluffy Otter says, for whoever's interested in buying the item. And that is what's relevant. It's when you get punchy and you just start saying things, sometimes old habits pop up. And but then I wonder at some point, and Katie, where you're saying ties makes a good idea. Like, to me, mentally, I would still be thinking, oh no, ties are for guys. But you're right, women wear ties all the time. Annie Hall, have made it a whole fashion thing. So that I don't know if there is anything that's still specifically for men or specifically for ladies. Well, you know that. The maxi pads can be specifically for ladies.
And Peterson says, no, the woodsy things can be for everybody.
Absolutely. That is absolutely. Okay, so Susan's saying we can say man cave. We can say man cave is sexist and she shed isn't. All right, you are entitled to that. And there is an argument that we've been sexist for so long that women should have their moment. It's hard. Hopefully I don't ever come off as something that that I am misogynistic or I am sexist or whatever. But, and there you go, Peterson. Men could use maxi pads for whatever they want. I started bleeding during this trip and I was trying to find a Band-Aid. I had 3 of them right in my box. I could have taken care of myself.
Exactly.
All right. Next item. Actually, I'm just going to go and jump in another one because we talked about it. I'll do another maxi pad. I will do another mystery box. I'll throw one in now. Catch everybody off guard. Got to find my cards. Here we go.
And these maxi pads are so fun. I have one and I just love them.
Oh, well, thank you, Gabrielle. Gabrielle says, just by my asking shows I am not. And I have a daughter. I was married for 24 years. I am aware. I'm not going to say I'm woke, but because I'm just too old to say I'm woke. But I want to be, and it is something that the conversation is changing on a regular basis. I've spent a good chunk of this week discussing diversity. I sell into public libraries. For people who don't know that I have a day job. And so I'm visiting public libraries on this trip. And the number one topic that is being discussed during these trips is diversity. And I find it ironic that in every meeting I've had this week, the discussion of diversity is being held by a table filled with white people. So it is definitely a conversation and it needs to happen, but sometimes it needs to happen the right way. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to have some fun. We're going to sell another mystery box. So again, mystery box is going to have a maxi pad in it. Again, you get to guess the number instead of me telling you the number. And this time the number is going to fall between 20 and 30. So the number falls between 20 and 30, 30, is this range. And Nate and Katie know the number. So I will hold it up.
And wow, I see it right out of the gate. Holy moly, this has never happened before. This is so fun. I still am going to wait for Nate to confirm because, oh man, the first couple of you guys were
holy cats. I see the same thing. That's crazy.
It's wild. Wow, you guys are getting good at this. Promise that I was not bribed, folks. Nobody except for me and Nate and Patrick knew the number. And yes,
and I only knew the number about 5 minutes before the sale started. I had to text them because I wasn't that organized.
And so Nate sees what I see, and it's Tammy Renee Walker in Florida out of the gate getting that one.
The number was 23. So congratulations, Tammy Renee Walker.
Nice job, guys.
All right. And there will be one more, which I will have toward the end of the sale. All right, next item. I think I was going to post it onto Instagram today. And unfortunately, because my schedule got away from me, I took the photos, but it never got posted. This is an item that I picked up on this trip. And I just fell in love with it because I had a series of shoe shine and shoe pieces in the past. This is not from that collection. This is, to a certain extent, this is better because what this is, it is a milk glass cylinder container, but as a jar, but is a double-sided jar. So you've got Lady Esquire Duplex Patent Leather Shoe Cream, and then you have another lid on the other side. So it's duplex packaging. So you open it up, and you still have the dark, what color was this? It looks like a really, really dark blue. I'm afraid to touch it because I'm afraid it's going to get over everything else. Let me see. Does it say on the other side? Maybe it had a label on it at one point that would have said what color it was, because I'm not seeing anything that actually indicates what color they bought. But so that was the one side. And when you open the other side, you actually have a place to hold the applicator. So you've got a double-sided jar. That's a milk glass. And you can see it's ribbed. I've never seen anything like that for any type of product. I'm assuming they probably, have you, Katie, would you like maybe see this with like face creams and things like that? Have you seen a jar like this before?
I've never seen a jar like that. However, I do have a wooden canister that has two sides. One is to hold cotter pins and the other is to hold grommets. So it's double-sided and you take one side off, you got your grommets, the other side is the cotter pins. So this is a really unusual piece. My piece is from the 40s, and I'm wondering if around that time is when they did something like this to conserve packaging.
Maybe, yeah, now you say that. So graphic-wise, I mean, her skirt is clearly out of the era when this was made. So Esquire, I had it just happened that some of the shoe stuff that I had were for the men's shoes. And so it had Esquire, not Lady Esquire, and that one was showing, if I remember correctly, the guy's silhouette was in like hunting, like fox hunting attire. So I don't know if this is like supposed to be a Southern Belle or if it's British, but I don't think this dates back to that era of dress. I think they're just recapping it. Graphic wise, there's nothing to indicate on here, like there's no zip code. There's nothing here that really indicates age. But I would have guessed 30s, but I like what you're saying, 40s, that was used as like to conserve material. So it's in absolutely perfect shape. There's no chips or cracks to the milk glass, and the graphics are in great shape on both the top and the bottom. So this is the Lady Esquire milk glass shoe polish set. It is $9. $9 for the milk glass set by giving me number 46. $9.46 for Lady Esquire.
And that is just a unique piece, folks. That's a really great piece of advertising there. And I see for Sandy's Lilacs picking that up. Congratulations, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy, for picking that up. Got another tin that actually got in the same place as that one. Now, this has been pre-vetted by Katie. And the only reason it's in the sale is because she already has it. So anyone can guess what I'm about to show. It is the first typewriter ribbon tin I've had in quite some time. Because
I've taken all the others.
Katie gets first dibs because she did my very first deep dive. So you get bonus points for doing that. And I don't come across them that often. But this one is did I ever find the name of the company? It's black on green, which whoever thought that was a good graphic is insane. Guaranteed, this typewriter ribbon is fully guaranteed to be non-type filling and long-lasting. Made in the USA. Do you remember who the name of the company was?
You know, it's interesting. On mine, I don't have a name of a company.
Yeah, mine
I
doesn't either, because so I'm assuming
I
this
don't
is
know.
the top, because the where I read all that information, it's like that seems more like the base. This has the bevel on it. So I'm assuming this is the top. But there is some stuff written on it. It's very difficult still to read. But there's some great graphics going around the edges. I mean, it's got a really neat look to it, and it is a really, really, really dark green color.
My guess would probably be Underwood made. That would have been for Underwood typewriters.
And the bonus, this one actually has the ribbon in it. So, oh wait, does it say something on the inside? No, it doesn't.
Tiafane saying he has that 10 and he thinks it's Elliot. It very well could be Tiafane.
Elliot?
Elliot.
Okay,
yes.
That's a name I'm not familiar with. Like I said, there is something on here. It's just so faint. I just really can't read it. But that is what helps keep the price down. So it is a typewriter ribbon tin with some great leaf graphics on the design, with the ribbon inside, which also adds to its value. So you've got the ribbon with the tin, and it is $8. $8 for the typewriter ribbon tin, $8 by giving me number 15. $8, number 15 for the typewriter ribbon tin.
That would just look so cool in a Christmas display, I think, with its green color.
And I like those for just what Nate put in, like for the bigger one. Even little things like this make nice little risers that you have, like a couple little pieces that, like a little figurine or a little candle holder. Sometimes just having it rise up that much just gives it that much more, elevation for the things around it.
And I see for Sandy's Lilacs picking that up. Congratulations, Sandy.
Thank you, Sandy, for picking that up. All right. Back to some of the ephemera I brought with me. So this is a Platt and Monk Co. Incorporated book from pardon me while I translate my Roman numerals, 1936. The Three Bears. Check out the graphics on this. It's a little, let's see, I've got my tape measure, probably like 7 by 6, 7 3/4 by 7. So kind of a 7 by 7 little booklet. The Three Bears, got the color illustration on the back, has a black and white on the, I'm sorry, that's on the front, black and white on the back. And then on the inside is the story of the Three Bears. And the first 2 pages are in black and white. The next 2 pages are in color. Then back black and white. So your centerfold, unfortunately, the way they did it, the centerfold actually ends up being in black and white. But then you've got color again, and then black and white again as she chases away. So some of the color art is some of the, some of the iconic scenes. His chair is broken, finding Goldilocks in the bed. And just the cover image on the front, I think, is just adorable. So you've got, and then, wait.
That one little bear looks so happy.
Well, it's funny because I don't really ever think of the bears being dressed up. So it's like you see them getting dressed to go out. I guess I never really thought of that. But they sleep in beds, they get dressed too. But on the inside front cover is where it shows the copyright information. So MCM is 1900. XXX is 30. IV is it IV or VI? IV. So that was 4. I think I said 6. So it's 1934 was when this was made. And I've not heard of the company, the Platt Co.
I've never heard of them either, but that is a really neat book.
And then I'm not sure what it means on the front. It's got the number 3000 and then
it looks like a Q.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know if it's a Q or a G or just like if the grass is doing something weird with another O. It's just the cross. So I'm not sure what that represents, if maybe they were a series that they were making. But anyway, it's in absolutely fantastic condition. Even the corners are, still relatively pointy, and the cover is 100% intact. So it's a great looking children's book, look great, even sitting in one of the little pin flower frogs or just propped up in the back of a little children's vignette or in a nursery. So the Three Bears book is $7. $7 for the 1934 edition of the Three Bears. Forgive me, number 76. $7.76 for the Three Bears.
And just a quick note, folks, there's only 6 minutes left on the eBay auctions. The Mary Englebright Words to Live By is at $28. And that wonderful vintage Christmas Noel candle holder is up to $41 with 6 minutes and 50 seconds left. So definitely go check that out. And I see Deb Riley picking up number 76. And Gabrielle, I did get your note. She would like to send the hairpins to Christina Gawanowski, Lilac's Vintage Life. And so we will write that down.
I can do that. Now, what'll be interesting with the eBay auction, for those who did not join the live sale last week, when this went live, I received a text message or a message through eBay right when it went live of someone saying, if you take the auction down right now, I will give you $50 for the item. I personally found that in relatively poor taste, and I wasn't going to do it regardless. So I'll be curious, if it doesn't sell for $50, that person hopefully will get a better deal. So not going to learn their lesson. But doesn't change my mind. I still wouldn't have taken the sale down. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. It's what the fair market's all about. And we'll see what it does have a lot of watchers. It has 19 watchers right now, and I already had 12 bids to get it up to the $28. So we'll see where that one goes. So, all right, another tin. This one, a lot of these actually came all from the same place, and this was in South Dakota. So these were just from earlier part of this trip. These were from South Dakota. This is Rexall Orderlies, the original chocolate flavored laxative, ideal for women, children, and elderly people, effective for men. So it's ideal for women, but effective for men. So I don't know what kind of misogyny is going into that one, but this is the United Drug Company, which I will say, driving up to South Dakota, to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, I saw, every 5 miles, there's a sign for wall drug. And I know the concept of wall drug. I don't know if there only one left in the world. Is it all just in South Dakota? This one's the Rexall Company, and this one's out of St. Louis, or Boston and St. Louis. So it's got the guarantee on the back and the ideal laxative with the directions for use on the inside. It's in great shape, a little bit of dirt, a little bit of oxidation on the inside, but it closes really nicely. And it's flat, no dents, no issues to the outside. So a cool low-shaped, rectangular. Again, prop this up into a vignette. The laxative tin is $8. Ladies be pooping. That's right, proud American. $8. Delbert hits it on the head. $8 guaranteed, and it is number 72.
Nate says that it's his favorite flavor of laxative. Nate, I want to know what other flavors you've tried.
I don't know. I find it disturbing that the laxative would be chocolate flavored. I think you should go after a different color.
Yes, it's definitely a bad color, in my opinion. And I see Melodies and Many Miscellaneous getting number 82. And Halem Nassif gets 72. Melody, I'm sorry, you put in the wrong number, but Halem got it.
Yeah, 72. They're sitting across from each other, so Melody just got too excited and typed in the wrong number. All right, this was a fun one that I picked up, and I normally wouldn't pick up, like reproduction type items, but I think this kind of falls into its own category, and because it's glass, I just like it. So I'm trying to babble while I open this because I'm having problems getting it open. It is a tiny little bag. There we go. Tiny little baggie. And in it is a little glass disc, which has a seal pressed into it. So it's kind of a cool thing all by itself. It is smooth on the back. And then it's kind of like if you ever got anything from Katie, it's kind of like a wax seal pressed into it. So there's kind of a rim around the outside with a seal pressed into the center. And it's kind of like kind of like a bottle glass, kind of consistency. But it comes in the little baggie, and it has a little note. And the note says, this is an armorial seal. Some of the earliest English wine bottle seals bore the coat of arms of private gentlemen. This is a reproduction of such a seal recovered at Jamestown. For its probable date is between 1660 and 1700. Although the owner is unknown, these arms may be a variation of an Archer family coat of arms, which has 3 stars on the chevron instead of 5. If this is the case, then the seal may have belonged to Captain James Archer, who arrived in Jamestown in 1677. So the story just kind of gives a little bit of background in the way the seal or what the seal might have made, might have meant, and then it's just a piece of old style glass, because glass has been made the same way for thousands of years. So the fact that it's all still in case, like this would just be one of those little souvenir pieces you'd get at the gift shop, that a kid would want to take home. And, the fact that it's an armorial seal. And there's even little information like what is glass? And it talks a little bit about how glass itself is made. So it's just a cute little piece, a little on the small side to be a coaster. But it does just kind of a cool little piece. It would look great in a little junk jar because the glass would come right through that. It's just an adorable little piece. And it is only $5. So $5 for the armorial glass Jamestown seal, by giving me number 92. $5.92 for the glass. All right. Well, the auction hasn't ended yet, but the hope sign just went up to $51. So it got past the 50 I was once offered. So.
Well, I have to say that could be a coaster and a dollhouse.
There you go.
It had something small. And I see Laura Ann getting numbered 92. Congratulations, Laura Ann.
Thank you, Laura Ann, for picking that up. Like I said, I love glass, and I just thought that was kind of a cute little piece, and I got it at the right price, so I passed it off in the right price. One of the items that I brought with me is I had gotten, and I think I might have showed these in a haul video, maybe not. I got a set of rewards of merit. And so I brought a couple of those. And the only one that I pulled out for the sale right now is one of the larger ones. This one is just a standard reward of merit. It's fairly large size, probably 4 by 6, kind of size-wise, 6 by 4.5. So 4.5 by 6. So a little bit larger than a standard 4 by 6 frame. You'd have to frame it in a 5 by 7, but it is embossed. And so you can see on the back how it has been embossed. So it's larger than a postcard. This one is not made out to an individual. So this one does not have a place for a name. So this one would have been gifted by the teacher to the student simply as a reward of merit. So this would be one of the earlier ones because it doesn't have a place to write in the name, and the name has not been filled in. I have about a dozen of different styles. This just happens to be one of them. And this style, looking at in general what they're going for, I'm offering this one for $5. So $5 for the postcard, slightly larger than postcard sized reward of merit. $5 embossed by giving me number 51. $5.51 for the roses reward of merit.
And that would just be beautiful framed, especially
Absolutely.
If you had a design that had a lot of flowers, it would just be beautiful.
It's also one of those cases that the entire collection, when I picked it up, it's unfortunate I didn't get it before the end of the school year. It's one of those, like if a teacher wanted to build a collection, it's like these are things teachers gave out. And I just think the concept behind them is really cool because they didn't have anything else to hand out. They didn't didn't have pictures easily available. So I just thought the idea of these rewards of merit to motivate kids, I thought was kind of a cool concept.
A lot better than the little star stickers we got.
Yes.
And I see Karen Dondelinger picking up number 51. Congratulations, Karen.
Great. Thank you, Karen, for picking that up. All right. Did this auction end? Yes, the auction's ended. Let's see if anybody here got it. So the Commodore candle holders went to somebody with the name Ray in their eBay name, or Joe. Both names are in there. So those ended up going for $48.54. I didn't even know eBay did that. So the Noel candle holders went for $48.54, and then the Hope sign went to somebody with the initials DWIL in their eBay name, and it ended up going for $60. So I'm a little surprised that went for more than the Noel candle holders, but that's okay. So if anybody from the live sale purchased either of those, let me know. And if you did, then I can combine shipping. So if you buy anything else from this sale, when I go to ship it this weekend, I can combine it since you've already paid for the freight on the items that you bought on eBay. And then that means those sales have ended. That means the other sale has gone live, which is the Dracula original art with the archive of the original magazine illustrations that inspired it. So that is now live on eBay, and that will end next Thursday during my next live sale.
And Nate has just put that in the chat, folks. So head on over to the eBay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was just a cool little thing that I feel I want to use it. I want to mail things in it, but I don't think it's practical necessarily to do that because you have so much weight built into this. But, people of a certain age will recognize this as an original mailing film canister mailer. So you've got a probably, 2 inches thick. You got 2 inches thick, maybe a little bit less. No, 1.25 inches actually thick box that has the double straps on it. It has some of the archives of some of the places it has been shipped to previously. And although it was designed, I'm trying to open it. Although it was designed to ship a film canister, you've put anything flat in here. I don't know. Have you ever tried to use one of these to ship your 45s, Katie?
I haven't, but now that you said that, I think that would be a really protective way to ship 45.
It would be very protective. How big is a 45? I'll measure the inside because I'm curious now that I said that.
I don't know. Let me see. I'm going to Google.
This is like interior dimensions. It's just a little over 7 inches square. I think it looks like a 45 would fit in there, but I don't know. I don't have one with me.
Yeah, usually they say 45 are like 7-inch singles, so probably about that size.
Yeah, so it might be a little tight. It once upon a time was included Sharon Cousin Roseblood 16 millimeter. So that's what was being shipped. But inside it's in really great condition. And like I said, it's got some of the original postals of when it was mailed. I don't know if there's any dates on here. Oh, here's one. 79 was one of the dates that's on it. So, it's just one of those. I just think a fun thing again, either for a vignette or make it practical because it would pretty much put whatever you need in the mail, wouldn't get destroyed. So you've got the little film canister mailer. It is $8, and you can get that by giving me number 96. $8.96 for the mailer.
And Sue Raspberry saying that her parents owned a radio station and they got the Lutheran Hour reel-to-reel in that type of container, maybe slightly bigger, but it's very cool.
I used to, in college, I went to a Lutheran school, and they were the repository for the Missouri Synod. I wasn't Lutheran. Missouri Synod, I think. And so there's this collection of Lutherans churches in the Midwest, basically. I went to school in Ohio. And so they would contact us and we would send them. And the biggest thing we sent were the Davy and Goliath film strips. But in some cases, we'd send film reels and reel-to-reels. And so all the boxes we had were like this because it was definitely before the days of DVDs. VHSs existed, so we did send some of those, but a lot of what we still were sending was reel-to-reel film strips because that's what, churches didn't have the most up-to-date equipment. So we were sending out some pretty old stuff. So,
and I see Melody's Mini Miscellaneous for number 96. Congratulations.
Excellent. Thank you, Melody, for picking that up. All right. Next item is kind of like a combo. It's like semi-functional if somebody actually has the need for it. But I also thought it was kind of a cool little, piece of memorabilia. It is the Kodak close-up attachment number 13 for, I'm assuming, a camera, and the little lens is still in there. So it's a tiny little lens that seems to me much smaller than would have fit on like a 35 millimeter camera. Like this was a much smaller camera, but I don't know what it would have been on. On the inside, it gives information about the focus scale, which I thought that was really cool. So how the distance of where you need to go, to get the different focuses. But I don't know, Katie, you know more about photography and stuff. Is the number 13, is that the name of the attachment, or is that the name for the camera that it would have gone
I think that's for the attachment. And,
okay.
I don't know what camera that would have fit on. It probably would have done several cameras. So you would buy that attachment and then it would fit, this camera, that camera, or that camera.
All right. And there is something etched on the side. It says number 13 Kodak close up attachment made in USA. Yeah, that's all it says. So it doesn't look like it screws on. It looks like it would just kind of like snap on. Is that normal, Katie?
With some of the older film attachments for cameras, yes, they just snap on. My dad has some very, very old photography equipment, and that is how they typically work.
So it looks like Susan is saying that this would be considered a universal mount. So I'm not familiar with that. So I'm not a photography. I'm not knowledgeable.
Yeah, if it's a universal mount, then it can really go on any camera.
But it's still like that would definitely be smaller than a lens of a 35. So I don't know, because the problem is I can't tell what era this is from. There's nothing on here to say, like there's no zip code. I don't know when these boxes were made. Like I don't know what this camera, because if you figure like the old Brownies, that's about the size of like the Brownie lens.
It's got to go on something small about that size. It wouldn't be anything that's probably like 70s or 80s. So I would think we're talking Brownie or earlier.
So I just thought this was kind of cool. However you want to, whether it's functional or you just keep it in the box or you pull out the actual attachment, the little conversational piece by itself. It's only $5. $5 for the little Kodak number 13 close-up attachment. $5. That give me number 82. $5.82 for the little attachment.
And that is just a really unique piece and something fun if you love cameras and photography. And Nate was down. His internet went out, but he is back now. So yay, Nate. And I see Melody's mini miscellaneous picking this up. So congrats, Melody.
Thank you, Melody, for picking that one up as well. All right, some more ephemera. These I thought were kind of cool. These are, from what I can tell, given the information that are on here, these are Chicago, Milwaukee, St. Paul, and Pacific Railroad Company freight certificates or freight notices. So these are return postage guaranteed. You'd have these little postcards that have all this information on here where the date of the notice, the car initial, the point of shipment, who the shipper was. They're pre-posted, and I'm not sure why they have different values. So this one is the 3-cent one. This one is 5 cents. And this one is 2. I'm selling this as a set because there's 3 individual types, but they all have the same information on them. So it says, notice of arrival. The freight described in the reverse side of this postcard has arrived at this station and is now ready for delivery. Please arrange for immediate removal. If not personally known to agent hiring with you, bring with you the original receipt or bill of lading issued at shipping point for identification. Order notify shipments will be delivered only on presentation of original bill of lading properly endorsed. Freight held for delivery beyond free time allowed will be subject to demurrage or storage charges. So I don't know if maybe by the value of the freight they use a different value of postcard, or if these just cover different eras, but like the 5-cent postcard didn't come into play until really, really late. And the backs of these are identical. So I don't know if anybody's knowledgeable in their railroad ephemera, railroadiana. It's just kind of a cool set of postcards, but they're freight postcards. And I thought they were kind of cool. So if you've got a travel collection, if you've got a postcard collection, if you've whatever, is a set of 3 of the freight postcards, and they're $4 for the set of 3. $4 for the set of postcards by giving me number 90. $4, number 90 for the railroad freight cards.
And those are just a really unusual piece that I think would be very cool framed.
I agree.
I like
it's one of those, I bought them because I wanted to know more about them, and I just never really figured it out.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. So that's going to be an interesting thing to research. And a quick hello to the traveling picker who just came in and is new to the sale. So I'm glad that you are joining us for the first time. And Susan Wahey got number 90. Way, I will get it. Susan Way got number 90.
Thank you, Susan, for picking that up. Another piece of ephemera. This is, I had the larger Reward of Merit that was a little bit older because it was embossed. This one I think is just as old, if not older. Unfortunately, there's less on here to indicate what it is or when it was given. So this is a Reward of Merit, and it has a name filled in of who it was presented to, Willie Douglas. And then it was also who was, and it says right on there, like these were given by the teachers. It says right on there who the teacher was. But look at the signature. To me, that is pen and ink. That's quill. That's not fountain. Just, it's, I don't know, it could be fountain, but it's too uneven. What do you think, Katie?
I really think quill. I don't think it's fountain because you can see where you're talking about. There's a little bit of unevenness
Yep.
to the letters. So it's definitely quill, I think.
I think, and it's got that dark, like almost like a reddish brown color because that iron gall ink was what was being used. I think this is late 19th century. So it's got a cool illustration on it. I think that's supposed to be image of Columbia, and just the design around the outside, everything about this, they were printed, in mass and then filled in, with the name. So Willie Douglas as an honorable testimony of approbation for industry, punctuality, and good conduct. So this one is thinner. So this is not a postcard version like the other one was. So, but this I do believe is older, and because of the namings on it, I think it makes it a little bit more distinct. So it is the same price as the larger one. It is also $5. So $5 for what I believe is the 19th century version of the Reward of Merit. It is available by giving me number 89. 89, like so delicate because it's just a very thin old paper. $5, number 89 for the older reward.
That is just amazing. I've never seen one that old.
No, I mean, this whole concept is new to me. I found one, and I'm like, okay, I need to know what these are. And then I was able to pick up some more. I just love the concept of them. And I love the idea that a teacher would collect these. Like, you can't force somebody to collect something, but sometimes you just don't even know what's out there. So,
and that would be really neat to have in a history teacher's classroom because they could talk about the history of those kinds of things. And it would just be a good conversation piece. And I see Karen Dondelinger picking up number 89. Congratulations.
And I think did she pick up the other one?
I think so.
I think she did.
You're starting a collection there, Karen.
So either she already has a collection or she's building one of her own. So congratulations, Karen. Thank you for picking that up. Next item is, it just happens to be another Kodak piece. I did not pick these up at the same place, though. So this one, pretty sure this is later, but again, there's really not a lot on here to go by. This one is an old film canister. So it's got kind of like a little, it's not embossed. I guess it's a relief, Kodak in relief on this little canister. It's got a screw off top. Inside is what looks like a traditional roll of 35 millimeter film, unused. So you still have the tail. I'd always love to find film where it's been completely used, just never developed, because I'd love to just take it in, like, develop this, what's in it? So this one has not been used. So you do have the film. The canister itself, or the film canister itself, really doesn't say much. It's 20 exposures. It says plus X, which I don't know what that means. Fast, fine grain safety film, PX 135. And I think the 135, that refers to the 35 millimeter, right?
I think so.
So I think that, I haven't seen one of these in a long time, but I do believe this is about the same size as the traditional, what became the modern 35 millimeter. However, this was wrapped around it. And what this is the 135 film magazine Kodak Plus X, Kodak Super XX. Load and unload your camera in subdued light, never in direct sunlight. And it gives you all of the exposure indexes for the 135 film. And on this, there's a zip code of Rochester 4. And I feel like I'm a broken record when I say this all the time, but that means it's from between 1948 and 1963. So we've got an old canister of 135 or 35 millimeter film dating post World War II, prior to 1963. And it's just a metal tin, aluminum, I guess, with a metal top as well.
And the metal ones are earlier because they did switch to boxes at some point. I have that 10, and I do believe it's from the very late 40s to early 50s.
All right, there we go. So we've got the little Kodak canister with the film. Yeah, I know, maybe if you've got a 35 millimeter camera, you can try and use it. But it is only $6. $6 for the Kodak film, number 75. Kodak film canister with film, number 75, $6.
That is just a neat canister. And there are a lot of photographers going back to using old cameras, and they are looking for that film. And that was a little popular 10.
Oh, wow.
See Nettie picking that up. Congratulations, Nettie.
Someone was talking about, so yeah, Nettie was saying, so the Plus X is a grainy film. Now, they wouldn't have put out a grainy film. So are you just saying that it's like it became grainy? Like that wouldn't have been a marketing choice, would it be? Here, buy our grainy film.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Or does grainy mean something different now?
It might be, but I have more of a modern DSLR, so I'm used to that mode of shooting. My dad would know more because he likes all of that old camera equipment.
Yeah, that's interesting that if it was marketed as a grainy.
Peterson saying at the time that kind of film was cutting edge, but it's not anymore.
Okay, which that makes sense. So it's to our eyes now, it probably is viewed as grainy, but to people who are used to the brownie or used to, I would assume that it probably was an improvement from that. I'm trying to think. I guess I probably have seen pictures from a brownie, but I don't even know. Did brownies do the square film? I see a lot of like wartime photos and stuff earlier that are perfectly square. They still have a border and stuff on them, but they're square.
It must have been. I don't know. I need to watch George's deep dive again.
Yeah, I don't remember how those. Yeah, so Peter's saying she thinks so. Yeah, so it's like you get spoiled now. I mean, I probably have some old 35 millimeter cameras. I know I've got my absolutely boring but semi-interesting story at the time. My camera on my honeymoon, we took a cruise to the Caribbean. If you've never taken a cruise, at least back in 1993 when I got married, You had to give your luggage, put it in the hallway, and then they took it from you. And they were transporting the luggage from the boat to the dock, and the conveyor belt that they were using fell off the ship. And my bag fell off the ship with it, including my digital camera.
Oh, no.
So they argued that I shouldn't have packed my camera in there, which is valid. But my point was, look, I packed it well enough so you could drop it, you could kick it, you could run over with a car, and I would have I would have had no argument. But I didn't pack it for you to drop in the ocean. Like that did not seem like a reasonable threat. So that, and of course the bag they dropped at the camera, it had all of the postcards, all of our honeymoon ephemera and stuff that we bought like as memories from the trip, all of it totally waterlogged. So they did buy us a new camera, and we never used it because by the time it came through, like technology had changed and we got a better camera. So it's like things change a lot. So somewhere I have a barely used digital camera, which I got from courtesy of Norwegian Cruise Lines. So next item. Melody, that was a sign. Yes, and 24 years later, I discovered that was what that sign meant, and I divorced her. So I'm not good at reading signs. All right, next we've got a little pamphlet. It is from the Farmer's Bulletin, milk and its uses in the home, because we all need that. So protein for muscles and other tissues, fat and sugar for body fuel, minerals for bones and other tissues, vitamins. Now, I don't know if that's how you used to spell vitamins, but vitamins, essential to growth and health. It is all in black and white. It is dated August 1921, which is why all of the articles and everything are in black and white. There aren't actually that many graphics. And what there are, is not the exceptionally exciting bottle nursing carrier. Bottle carrier for nursing bottles. We got a couple photographs. Got the milkman leaving milk on the porch. So there's a couple, but again, everything is in black and white. But it goes into how to store it. Look at 1921. You did not have a Sub-Zero refrigerator. You had a little ice box. So you've got the drawings. It's of a very specific time. Some tables, different description of milk, sour milk, and clabber. I don't even know what clabber is.
I don't know that I want to know what it is.
As the milk coagulates or curdles from the effect of the acid, it gradually assumes a semi-liquid form commonly known as clabber. I don't want my milk to be semi-solid or semi-liquid. Infant foods, so there's not real recipes. There's things like how to use milk in cooking, but I don't think there are any real recipes in it. So it's really just kind of like a cool conversation piece, vignette builder. It's going to be decent size, so it'd be a little nice backdrop, and it'll look great in the kitchen because you've got the old-fashioned bottle of milk right there on the front. And it's $4. So $4 for the little pack, brochure on milk in the home. $4. I give me number 55. $4, number 55.
And we've got some great information from Mel. He says that graininess is some films have bigger ASA numbers. It's the rating of sensitivity of the film. And the bigger the number, the grainier the image. The big ASA number is used for examples in dark or fast-moving objects. Okay, that makes sense, Mel.
I vaguely remember that. I want to say probably high school, college age. I didn't use it very often, but wasn't the ASA, wasn't that 400 speed, 600, and there was something that was 1,000. And if you, again, this was it was pre 9/11, but there were security machines and stuff, and you could ask for your 1,000 speed film not to go through the X-ray because it would do something to the film. And I don't remember what it was, but when you started saying that, I'm like, wait, I vaguely remember that.
I remember going through the airport when we took family vacations and asking for our cameras to be screened and not through the X-ray machine.
And my dad, who basically tried to be a know-it-all on just about everything in life, was that was where the 1,000 stuck. That it wasn't necessary to do special treatment. It was only 400 400 or maybe 100 was like the standard. And so it really wasn't until you got into that really high speed or whatever it was, the 1,000. And I don't think we ever used that, but yeah. So that would make sense though. If it's for higher speed, it would change the graininess on it too.
And Halem Nassif is picking up number 55. So congratulations, Halem. Melody not far behind.
Excellent. All right, another piece of ephemera. Like I said, it was easy to pack, so I apologize if it was a little repetitive. This is a Jack and Jill magazine from February 1948. It's got this super cool fracture design, kind of a folk design of a tulip with the I love you, because this is the Valentine edition of the Jack and Jill magazine, which continued to exist into my childhood, definitely, and maybe even beyond. Does Jack and Jill magazine still exist now?
I don't think so. I've never seen it.
I want to say my daughter might have been able to have access to it, but maybe not. But those types of like highlights and that type of thing.
Highlights is still around.
Yeah, so this was kind of like the precursor to it. So it was specifically for kids. This Valentine mailbox can be both useful and decorative in a schoolroom. To make it, you'll need a suit box of heavy cardboard. What the hell's a suit box? Cover the lid of the box with red crepe paper. If they literally mean a box for a suit, how many Valentines are you planning to get? But you got the instructions to make a little Valentine's box. So I think we used a shoe box. So I'm not sure if
yes, we had shoe boxes.
So I don't know if back in 1948 you didn't have shoe boxes, so you had to get your dad's suit box. So there's stories. I want to say they were games. Oh, there's a Inky's drawing lesson, so you can learn to draw the monkey. Things to make. You can do a doll shopping bag and a silver paper Valentine. Tiny tales. Let's see. Poems for February. Oh, just what everyone wants to read about. Beowulf. Yeah, that's what kids need to read. Several pages of Beowulf, evidently. Anders' Wonderful Cap. It's a play. So you can teach kids how to do a play. You can act out a play. And some of the pictures are in color. Okay, Misty, here comes your clown.
Oh no, clowns.
Crossword puzzle. Interesting. The first one, one across. President, born in February. 5, nickname for Abraham. Elevated railway abbreviation. Opposite of forget. All right. So we got words in Valentine. Pick out these words from Valentine. The first, a creeping plant, or 4 letters. Fine. More pictures. Oh, we got a kid with a cow. That's you don't see that every day. Got a 4-H picture. Sound effects for weather. Oh, you can be a Foley artist. Okay, wait a minute. Check this out, Katie. It's your birdseed box.
Oh wow!
In that picture, it's the songbird for birdseed box. Using it to make what sound do you make with that? I guess it's being poured onto paper. So I guess to make rain.
Oh, that is a cool
example. Too funny, just totally out of the blue. Was it? I can't see what the name. No, it doesn't say songbird. Is this something else? No, it does say songbird. Yeah, I think that might be yours.
That's exactly the 10 I have.
Awesome. So a lot more stories. Boo Boo the Woods Boy. Comic strip that did not last very long. North, south, east, west. Letters come to Jack and Jill from all directions. So this is a good indication too. So the letters that were coming in are kids age 6, 8, 9, 8 and 1/3 years old. 8, 10, 9.5, 7. So age-wise, that's kind of the age that you're going through. It's a pretty thick magazine. There's 70, I guess 70 pages. So decent collection of information. It still has the original mailing label on the back, which makes it look like it says October. But this is the February issue. So I don't know, maybe that's something else. I don't know. So anyway, Jack and Jill magazine, $6. $6 for the 1948 issue of Jack and Jill. $6 by giving me number 21. $6.21 for Jack and Jill.
That is a fun little magazine, and I like the graphics in there. It's very cool they have that bird tent because I've never seen that songbird tent.
That is like total. I didn't even notice it when I flipped through it the first time. It literally wasn't until I was showing you here.
And I see Helen Casey getting number 21. Congratulations, Helen. And if you guys are lagging, do make sure to refresh so you can stay up to date with the feed.
Okay, I'm trying to make sure I keep an eye on my time because at the top of the hour, Martha is from Vintage Conversation is doing her sale, and she has a guest with Tim and Jerry.
Yep, Tim and
Tim and
Jerry.
Jerry from Vintage and Vino. So Vintage and Vino is doing their very first live sale tonight with Martha from Vintage Conversation. So that will start in 27 minutes, and I promised that I would be off the air before they go on. But I wanted to be able to send everybody over there. So it's actually on Martha's channel, right?
Yes,
Katie?
it's on Martha Vintage Conversation.
So before we end, maybe we can drop the link to the Martha's page right at the end so people can jump over there. But Martha has been doing sales off and on now the last couple of weeks, kind of at that time. And Tim and Jerry wanted to get their first sale in, and so they're doing it jointly with Martha. So hope they have good luck and they have fun with it. Some more ephemera, but this one, admittedly, I did not bring with me. This one I actually picked up on this trip. And Katie and Nate always ask if I have multiples, and I lied and said I had no multiples. I do have a multiple. It's this one.
Don't faint.
I only have 2, so it's easier. It's much easier. But it is ephemera, so it does fit with kind of the other stuff that I had. And I just thought this was cute, and I wanted to pick it up. So it is What Will I Be from A to Z. They are identical. They are in identical condition. They are dated right in the front cover. Copyrighted it's printed in 1967 with copyrighted material from 1959. So was reprinted a few times, but so it's also things to look at. So it's copyrighted 59, but you can see it's got a 5-digit zip code. It's because it was reprinted, and after 1963. So that was when the 5 digits came in. So copyright was still in place with the 67 edition. This little book is made for me. It's fun to read, as I will see, for all the pages are in rhymes, and reading them makes happy times. I could drive you all crazy. I could drive myself crazy trying to read this. So it is from A to Z. So you could be an airline pilot, a baker. That's A and B. What's really nice about these, one, the colors change as you go through it. So you can be a cowboy or a doctor, an engineer or a farmer, but each one is a full page. Now, unfortunately, you do have a back page, so you can't frame them all and get the entire alphabet, unless you buy both. But you can't frame them. But you can pick and choose. Some of the graphics are pretty cool, or in some cases, I don't know a child who's growing up wanting to be a grocer. There's nothing wrong with being a grocer, but I don't think that is really a career path that they probably teach in school anymore. Nor, unfortunately, see, this is dangerous. Homemaker. What will I be? There's nothing wrong with being a homemaker, but I don't know if girls are being raised saying, or guys or boys, oh my God, how do I get out of this?
It's hard, you can't.
No, as a 1960s time capsule, absolutely, they were raising girls to say, you should be a homemaker. Like, that's what you would do. And actually, now that I say that, the airplane pilot does have a boy and a girl. The baker has a boy and a girl. The cowboy only has a boy. The doctor only shows a guy. Engineer only shows a guy. The farmer only shows a guy. Grocer's a guy. Homemaker is the girl by herself. Again, a product of its era.
It's the sign of the times.
Yeah. The ice cream maker is a guy. The judge is a guy. Kennel owner is a guy. The librarian is the woman. All right. Now, I will say I spend all my time dealing with librarians. 95% are women. I know that Daniel is a librarian. So he's within the 5 to 10% that are not women. But I think he would back me up on that. Like it is predominantly a female, not it shouldn't be, but it is predominantly a female occupation. Just as nurse is, there can be male nurses, but it's not common. Office worker, showing a secretary. Policeman, showing a guy. Quarterback, showing a guy. Rocket builder, guy. Soldier, guy. Teacher, woman. United States Congressman, man. Violinist. Oh, now that shows both. That shows a guy and a woman. So I guess they're being equal opportunity there. Weatherman, X-ray man. Okay, they were probably just getting desperate. What else is going to start with an X? X-ray.
Yeah, X-ray is the only thing.
I think there's another term for that. X-ray man. Youth leader. I think they could come up with something better for Y because that's just creepy. And zookeeper. And then at the end, what will I be? And then, okay, your eating guide.
Okay.
That threw me. That caught me off guard. I'm not sure why there's an eating guide. Who issued this?
It reminds me of that song, Que Sera, Sera, where the little girl says, I asked my mother, what will I be? And then she said to me, Que Sera, Sera, whatever will be, will be.
Oh, Daniel's here. All right, so Daniel says they have 4 male employees. Okay, Daniel, out of how many? So there are exceptions to every rule. I will just say I've had a dozen appointments this week. I've not met with a man. Oh, no, I take that back. I met with one man. The rest of them were all women.
Yes.
Including group settings.
Why didn't they pick xylophonist?
Xylophonist, that'd been awesome. Yeah, what else could start with an X? I mean, X-ray technician would have been actually decent. X-ray man is just weird.
Maybe they didn't have the word technician for X-ray.
Yeah, true. In the 50s, that may not have been the appropriate term. What else would start with an X? Xenophobe. That's what a lot of people grew up to be. Hey, Teofane. Okay, the perfect timing. I did not see that, Teofane, but I love you all the more for it. Teofane hits right in, he comes right where I'm coming from, xenophobe, because unfortunately that is all right. So we've got a very progressive Southern Illinois library where 1/3 of the staff are male. So congratulations, good job. You're taking jobs away from women. Awesome. Just give it. I've had a long day. Anyway, did I even give you the price on this? Because
no, we did not.
Have lost it.
Oh yeah, Xerox operator. There you go, Nate.
All right. Did Xerox exist? That'd be good for now. Did Xerox exist back then?
You know, I did see an ad for a Xerox machine from the 50s, and it was a woman saying, it was an ad for secretaries, and it said, I really don't know how to type. I don't know. And basically all the things that secretaries at that time were supposed to do. She said, I don't know how to do that. When my boss hands me a stack of paper, I can copy it in 4 seconds flat. And she goes to the copy machine. It was an old black and white ad. I posted it on my stories because I thought the ad was interesting, but it was for Xerox.
Well, and then if everyone remembers the late 70s, maybe in 1980, 9 to 5, they had the Xerox machine that was the size of an entire room that, kind of explodes. But anyway, so you also can have a book of what will I be from A to Z, and you can rewrite it. You can do a little cut and paste, make your own version of it. There are 2 of these. So the first 2 people that want to grab this, will be able to get them. What will I be from A to Z is $6. $6 for the A to Z book. $6. First 2 people to give me number 42 will get a copy of What Will I Be from A to Z.
And a quick question coming in from Crafty Jackie. She wanted to know, when do the Trusty Traveler boxes have to be into you?
Every box that is shipped out has a little instruction booklet in the front, and that says that in October they need to start making their way back to me. So what I would like to have them all by the end of October, because I will start making plans of what I'm going to do with them. And somehow they're going to go into the fundraiser for the Just One More Dachshund rescue organization. That will happen in November, but we don't have the date yet. So I just want to make sure I get everything back some point during October. I'm probably going to go ahead and open the boxes because if nothing else, I want to get the little book out of each one of them where we're keeping track of where it went. So I'm going to have to open the boxes. And I saw one of the photos of one of the boxes. It's not going to make it to October. So I'm hoping somebody takes pity upon it and replaces the box because it has had a rough life. So I might group them together. I might turn them into like maybe a large mystery box, but whatever is left and whatever 5 items come back in each of the 21 boxes, whatever comes back, those will all go into some level of fundraiser for the Just One More Ducks and Rescue.
Fantastic. And number 42 goes to Vintage Digs, Gina and Susan Way. Congrats, guys. And Gina's going to rewrite it. Awesome.
Definitely make sure you let all of us know. Let it post that one because we definitely want to hear what's going on with the new and updated version of what I want to be from A to Z. This is a fun little packet that I picked up, and I think it is a marriage of 2 items because I picked it up because I was attracted by this, because who wouldn't be attracted by this cake? So it is a stencil set that you would use to sprinkle powdered sugar on the top of a cake. So you get the little rose pattern. So you could have a little powdered sugar sprinkle on top. So okay, I like looked at it, saw the little patterns in here. But then after I bought it and I brought it home, there was something else in here. And it's related, but I have a feeling it's not the same because I don't know the era that this is from. I'm thinking 70s, maybe 60s. This was also in it. This was cake decorating made easy. This was from Current. Current, I don't think was a thing until like the 90s. Do you know, Katie? Maybe the 80s, but I want to say 90s.
I remember them from the 90s, so I don't know.
No, I take that back. It does have a date. It says 1982. So, okay, Current was in the 80s. So maybe they were from the same time, and maybe they went together. I don't know. This doesn't have a brand or anything on it. It doesn't say Current, but this one does. So you get this little book as recipe and decorating ideas. I should have just opened it without opening my mouth. It is dated 1982, photography by Ron Oatley, and it's instructions how to use the decorating bag, the different tips, instructions how to make the little bee. But this is for like frosting and things like how to make the swirls, how to make the rosettes, how to do the shaped cakes. There you go. Make your clown.
Oh boy. Yep. No clown club for me.
We've got, let's see. Yeah, I was going to say, I knew there's the doll. Where'd it go? The Barbie doll form where you decorated the cake skirt. My daughter actually had that, so that was actually still popular into the 2000s. But it's all designed more for frosting, where this is really designed for the sugar. And from what I can tell, these were never used because this is the rose that's in the cover image. It only has like the one little petal missing. So I don't think these were ever used. The butterfly doesn't have any pieces missing. I see it's
butterfly. I remember the butterfly.
They've got a congratulations with, what is that?
A flower?
I guess a flower. I thought it was a peacock there for a second, but I guess it's just a flower.
Like a tulip, maybe.
And then happy birthday. Kind of has some like hearts designs, and then the rose. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the little plasticky decoration, like powdered sugar type decoration toppers, and the cake decorating booklet. So you've got both of these. I'm just going to go sell them as a set. I bought them together, so whether they belong together or not, it's kind of irrelevant to me. I'm just going to keep them together. And the pair is $6. So $6 for the stencils and the little booklet. $6 by giving me number 90. $6, number 90 for the set.
That is a fun set, and you really could still use those.
Absolutely.
And try making that bumblebee, which is absolutely adorable. Oh, your mom made a Barbie cake like that in 1965.
1965. Now, I mean, I grew up with it. My mother did all kinds of crafts. We actually made my brothers, and I say we, I learned how to turn roses, three-dimensional roses on the little nail.
Yeah.
I made the roses for my brother's wedding cake in 1983. So I like cake decorating was, I mean, my father had a big tackle box. My mother had an equally large tackle box with all of her cake decorating, the tips and bags and all of that stuff that
We had a whole drawer that my mom, just let us be creative as kids. And we got a chance to play with sprinkles and all kinds of things. And it was always fun. Susan Way gets number 90. So congratulations, Susan.
All right. Next one is another book. I apologize. We're maybe getting a little monotonous, but they were easy to pack. So this one is what I think has some of the creepiest illustrations of any book I have ever picked up, or at least any children's book that I've picked up. It is a copy of Hansel and Gretel. It is ironically enough, it is called the Happiness Storybook.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to get it out of it.
Gretel is creepy enough as it is.
So it is the Happiness Storybook. So here's the cover. Now this belies a little bit of what's on the inside. So it's Hansel and Gretel. It does say Happiness Storybooks, which I've not heard of that company. So like that did not prepare me for what I was about to see. But when you open it up, you got a kind of a cool end paper, some like little hot air balloons, got a camel, some cool animals in the hot air balloons, kind of fun. Nothing to do with Hansel and Gretel, so it must be something to do with the happiness. And it says, illustrated with actual scenes from the Michael Meyerberg motion picture, Hansel and Gretel. Characters copyrighted Meyerberg Productions, copyright 1955, Ottenheimer Publishers. So it says on the outside, Happiness Storybooks, but it's copyrighted Ottenheimer Publishers, which again, I am not familiar with. Each Happiness Storybook is handsomely illustrated. There's not a single page without a sparkling illustration in full color. Talented authors have combined their skills with the nation's foremost illustrators to produce a series of beautiful books that that children everywhere will take to their hearts. Okay, but remember, this one is from scenes from a movie.
Oh my!
What are we watching? What horror-filled Hansel and Gretel version are we watching? So we've got that. We've got Hansel and Gretel in the woods. So what it looks like is that it must have been like a stop action or stop motion animation.
Yeah, it looks a lot like stop motion, but earlier stop motion.
Yeah. So again, this is like 1955 is what this is from. What the hell is that? That is some acid-induced horror dream that I can't even imagine what that scene was doing on the big screen. We've got the kids finding the house. That one's innocent enough. Let's find the witch.
Oh, Mo!
So we got the witch. She's not quite witchy. She's just got the big or gigantic nose. But then she turns evil. Puts the kids in the cage. Yes, because that's what every children's book needs to see is the kids in a cage. And let's see.
Yeah, it's kind of like a claymation style, Nancy.
Maybe claymation. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, what is that? I don't remember a cave in Hansel and Gretel, so I have no idea what that's trying to represent. Like what they're glowing in the dark. Like, I don't even know what that is. Like they look like they've turned into electronic gingerbread men. So I don't know what that's supposed to be. And then the end. Happy balloons again.
My word. How did they get happy balloons?
Happy balloons.
Devil children.
So like it does have the story that goes along. Bang, there was a great puff of smoke and a loud explosion. The witch's oven blew sky high and pieces of it flew in all directions. When the smoke cleared, Rosina Ruby Lips. Did I miss a memo in Hansel and Gretel? Rosina Ruby Lips was a witch no longer. Instead, she was a great big witch-shaped gingerbread cookie. Clearly, I need to reread the movie. And cookie is spelled C-O-O-K-Y. So oh wait, it says Hansel and Gretel stood amazed, staring at the row of gingerbread children. So I was not mistaken. They do look like electrified gingerbread.
They do, like uranium kids.
Yes, but the witch's name is Rosina Ruby Lips.
And Nancy says she's watched it, and it's bizarre as all get out.
I can't be anything else. Like it's. I would think it would have been from the '60s. You know, it's kind of like let's do what's Puff the Magic Dragon puffing on. You know, so we've got Hansel and Gretel, fun-filled. Like, I'm sorry, this becomes your Halloween decor because this is a conversation piece just waiting to happen. It's a weird shape. It's like way taller than it is thin. So it's 8 1/4 by only 5 1/4 wide. So like you can kind of tell it's just kind of an odd little shape, but it would look cool because of its shape, kind of propped up in the background of a Halloween vignette. And because it's weird, well, I mean, in my opinion, I got a good price. So it's $5. So $5 for the weird Hansel and Gretel claymation Oppenheimer films. $5 by giving number 12. $5, number 12 for the Oppenheimers.
And Nancy's saying,
Ruby Lips.
Nancy's saying in the original story, the witch has turned many children into life-size gingerbread cookies. And when Hansel and Gretel break the spell, the children return to normal. Wow, that's very interesting, Nancy.
So when she's baking them, she's just turning them into gingerbread. She didn't want to eat them?
Yeah, I've always heard the version that they got eaten.
Yeah, I thought they got eaten.
And I see Calypso Cat, picking up number 12. Congratulations.
So I'm looking back. It was the witch, Rosina Ruby Lips, and she pounced out of the house and grabbed the children. Let's see. Inside the gingerbread house, the witch showed Gretel how she wanted her table set. The napkins and silver were kept in a large chest. There's something about a white rose. Okay, so who bought number 12?
It's Calypso Cat.
All right, Cat. You're gonna have to give us a book report. You're gonna tell us what did the weird ass witch do in this version of Hansel and Gretel, and hopefully you don't have night terrors when you're trying to read it. So we're coming up to the top of the hour, so I am going to wrap things up with my last mystery box. Before I do that really quick, the only thing that I had that didn't sell was one more piece of ephemera. It was the telephone, winning ways with your telephone. So that one, for anyone who joined late, that was same booklet, same type of booklet, 1948 from the Ohio Bell. That one was $5 for number 74. So that was the only item that I had that had not sold earlier. So throw that out. So I'm trying to find the tag for my last mystery box. Here it is. Okay, so last mystery box is same way. I'm not going to tell you the number. You got to guess. I didn't write my cheat sheet down. There we go. So this one, $15, and the number falls between 40 and 50. It looks like Karen Dondelinger is picking up 74.
Karen Dondelinger would like 74.
Thank you, Karen. All right, so we've got the numbers coming in.
Lots of numbers, folks. Let's see who gets this mystery box.
I see the number. I don't know who's the first one, but I at least see somebody has it.
I see it too, but I'm waiting for confirmation from Nate to make sure that we've got it. Let's see what Nate's saying here, folks. Got to make it all the way to New Zealand.
Actually, I think I only see one person.
I only see one. Yeah, that's the only person I see. Oh, I just see another one. But I know who I saw first. I think
unlike the other one where like everyone guessed it right out of the gate. This one seemed to take longer.
And Nate, I think, is running a little slower on his internet today. Nate, you need to put more hamsters on your wheel.
More sheep. It's in New Zealand. We got all the sheep. Just put them to work.
And Nate sees exactly what I see. Deb Riley gets the last mystery box number.
Yeah, the last number is 45. Number 45, Deb Riley. And she was cranking. She was like, also 46. Like she was just cranking through. She was a fast typer. 47, 48, and 49 all came in a row. So she was covering ground. So congratulations, Deb. You picked up the final mystery box. All right. So this was not nearly as much of a train wreck as I thought it would be. I still have an entire box of additional magazines, rewards of merit, another Sonia Henney book that I found, postcards. They will all show up at a later sale. So I am going to be back next week. I'll be back home, not traveling. I'm grateful to the Fairfield Inn of wherever the hell city I am, that the internet held out for as long as it did. So I appreciate that I could join. You guys could stay with me this whole time. And I appreciate you hanging out with the chat. So in 3 minutes, there's so many vintage conversation is hosting, and Katie just dropped the chat or the link into the chat. Vintage Conversation, Martha, is having her live sale in a couple minutes on her channel with special guest Tim and Jerry from Vintage and Vino, and that'll be Vintage and Vino's very first sale. So make sure you hop over to Martha's channel, Vintage Conversation, and check out her. Tell her I sent you over, and appreciate y'all hanging out with me and putting your trust in Trusty Huckster. You guys all have a great night, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, friends.